Hi, welcome to the Vaguely Anime Podcast. I am one of the hosts this evening, Michael, followed by other host Kat.
Hello.
And other host Sage.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I have at least a slight topic to start.
Okay.
Which was, did you see? Did you get that like whole thing about Viz and Shonen Jump's app?
No.
That they're like separating them. Like if you want to be basically if you want it to continue tracking and like your membership and stuff, you have to pay on Shonen and not on Viz's app. And so like I had to like it canceled my membership and then I had to go on to Shonen's app and then redo the membership.
But isn't the membership for both of them?
They're like they're either like getting rid of the Viz app or they're just separating it.
Well, I can understand the only reason why I think you would get rid of the Viz app is I just think
it's redundant.
It is redundant, but also the Viz app has a lot more manga that you have to pay for separate from the membership. Whereas Shonen Jump, I'm pretty sure like almost all the titles you can read within the membership.
Yeah, well, all I know is that it's separate because I went to like go on the thing and it was like, hey, you don't have a membership here. And I was like, the fuck I don't.
I sure do.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, no, you got to go on to Shonen Jump and do it that way.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because I've only ever had the Shonen Jump app.
I had both. I just liked how Viz's looked more.
The only time I used Viz is when I was trying to like do a sneaky workaround, but it didn't work out. So I was like, yeah, fuck this.
I used it just because, like, I mean, they are literally laid out the exact same. It's purely a preference of aesthetic, and I just thought Viz's aesthetic was nicer, so I used Viz.
I just think, especially in the app form, it's not a big enough, like...
literally, it's the same. The only difference was I didn't like Shonen's, like, high contrast yellow and black.
Oh, that they have for, like, their main page?
Yeah, so I just would use Viz's because it was red and black and it wasn't as like jarring of a
it's
eyesore.
Like hurting your eyes.
Yeah. That was the only real reason. But yeah, now it's like it's a separate thing, I guess.
Huh.
I think it's because they're phasing out Viz as an app. It's just gonna be Shonen.
I could believe that because I feel like I don't know too many people who use the Viz app opposed to having the Shonen Jump app. Because I feel like the Shonen Jump app is just... Usually when you think about like, oh, I want to read Shonen Jump manga, like you're not immediately thinking, oh, Viz Media.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's probably just more traffic towards Shonen Jump. And if you think about it, if they have two separate apps, but you get like one paid membership for both, it's probably costing them more money to keep Viz running if they're not getting like as many eyes on it and things like that.
Right.
So it's probably just not worth it for them financially to keep it if most people are using Shonen Jump app.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Just trying to see if I can find the email. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Oh wait, here it is. We regret to inform you that Shonen Jump subscriptions are no longer supported within the Viz manga app. And your monthly auto renewing is canceled. To continue reading, you have to go to Shonen Jump's app directly. We've been meaning to do this for a while because we want to provide the best Shonen Jump experience we can for subscribers. And to do that, we have to get everyone on the same app. Yeah.
Maybe they'll, because I know Viz has more titles, so maybe they'll move over.
Why are we doing this? The Shonen Jump app offers a better experience for your Shonen Jump membership for that reason, and to improve the Viz manga app experience, we've decided to make this change. So they're just... Soon we will be streamlining access, and Shonen Jump chapters will be located exclusively on Shonen Jump, and the Viz app will be separate.
Wait, so were they having separate titles come out on separate apps? That doesn't make sense.
Where can I read the Viz manga app? The Viz app offers the variety of manga outside of Shonen Jump. So
that I knew.
So Viz is going to be the non-Shonen Jump stuff.
Okay,
because Shonen Jump is going to be only Shonen Jump.
I guess that makes sense because Viz as a company owns more than just Shonen Jump.
So I
That's
guess
why
they just
have
wanted
more
to be
titles.
that if you wanted the other things, you got to pay for both.
Oh, those bitches. Well, maybe if you... okay, so let's say... So Shonen Jump right now is $2.99.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe now that they're separating the subscription, if Viz comes out with a newer version of their app with all the other titles that aren't already coming out in Shonen Jump. I assume they'll do a similar thing of $2.99 or go back to the $1.99 for Viz.
For Shonen.
No. Like if Viz remakes their app again.
Right.
With the non-Shonen Jump titles, and maybe what they'll do is instead of having like a lot of their mangas behind a paywall, they'll just make them included with the membership.
I mean, I know nothing about either of these, but I feel like financially they're probably just separating it so Shonen Jump can just be their paid subscription, but Viz stays the way that it is with the paywall, but it's all just in one place. So if you're just looking for something,
I think
you
it would
just
make
go there.
more sense in the like for what you were saying of like Shonen Jump's app would be less, but then Viz's could be more.
Because they
for
would
each
make,
book.
if they were already trying to make the money off of it being behind a different paywall, it doesn't make any sense for them to just go to subscription and changing it to that. They'll lose a lot of money.
Well, I just am thinking in terms of, I don't know too many people who buy manga digitally, and that's why people use the Shonen Jump app, because
Or if they do, they usually use a different service, like
Right.
Like Katakawa's Bookwalker and stuff like that.
Right. Because that has like even more titles than Viz can offer, because it's not restricted to one company.
Right, which we're getting that other app that I sent you that I'm already forgetting.
Oh yes, I know. Hold on, I can find
The ones
it.
that do Fire Force and
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. You sent it to me and Colin, right?
yeah, I think so. The company that does a bunch of other stuff, but Fire Force was the one that's coming to mind. They're making an app that's also going to be like fairly reasonably priced and available for anyone to read, kind of thing.
Yeah. You mentioned it recently. Shonen Jump has competition. Here we go. Oh, I don't have TikTok anymore. Whoops.
You uninstalled it?
No, but I just never I don't remember what my account was that I never used.
Just make a new account.
You
don't even have to tie it to an email. You could just make a username.
No, because I don't care or use. The only time I use TikTok is when Mike or my parents send me TikTok videos.
That's enough to keep it on your phone.
It's once a month.
Yeah, but you usually find them funny when I send them to you. I send you some ones that are specifically for you.
They are funny, the ones that you sent me, but it's just I don't care enough, and I don't particularly enjoy TikTok. I feel like TikTok is a cesspool.
TikTok's a black hole.
Yeah,
It is a black hole, but it also is the only site that'll give you real information about what's going on in the world too.
I guess that's fair.
You ever see those side? Well, I mean, I say that like Kodansha. That's what it is. I was trying to remember how to pronounce the word correctly. They do Attack on Titan, Fire Force,
Right.
and everything. But you ever see that thing where it's like the side by side? If you look up France on Instagram, and it just shows like pretty pictures of France, and if you look it up on TikTok, it shows all the protests and all the riots and everything. And it's like people
those
being like,
protests and riots have been going on for God knows how long at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, France is really in shambles right now.
Yeah. Let's see. So they do Parasite, Cells at Work, Alita Battle Angel, Fairy Tale. A lot of things. They're a lot of things.
Neato.
So that's kind of cool. Now they're getting their own app too.
Are those licensed under Tokyo Pop? That's like another big manga licensing brand. They do like a lot that come to the States.
I'm not sure. The only real licensors I know are the ones that are attached to those books right there, and it switches halfway through.
That's funny. Hold on. It's all Negima, so that's not a great.
Yeah. Well, oh wait, and this one. So, but
I can't see.
Also, I finally fixed that order of those. Now I never have to look at those again. And be
Oh,
like,
because you
"God
had
damn
them
it."
out of order.
The last 5 were out of order for some reason. It was bothering the fuck out of me.
Yeah,
for,
that's
months.
awful.
And then I finally
Why
remembered
did you
to do
leave
it
it?
because I kept forgetting. I would only
Is
remember
it like
it
you
when
see
we.
it at a glance
I
and
would
you're like, darn it.
Yeah, I would only remember when we were recording, and then by the time we were finished recording, I'd forget. But I finally, at some point, fixed it. I was like, all right, I'm fucking done with this shit.
Yeah, I have these old.
They're shonen. I know that actually because I read it on the Shonen Jump app.
Yeah, I have these old Shonen Jump physical magazines where it has like maybe a chapter or two of like each manga that's currently running.
Yeah.
And I had one from 2005, and my cat ripped up some of the pages.
Aww.
Were they ones that you cared about?
Thank God it was just the ad pages.
Okay.
Because at the beginning of the magazine is like maybe 2 or 3 pages of like full color ads of like anime that's coming out or DVD box sets because it's 2005 or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But because I came home from work one day and I just saw like throughout my living room scattered shredded paper. And I was like, oh no, what happened? And then I just saw the magazine on the floor and I was like,
Oh my God.
I almost had a heart attack.
Which cat?
Pick up
was
cat, throw out window.
It was Toast because he lives for destruction.
It? Oh.
But yeah, I like almost
Like
had a heart
Jazz
attack.
and Fresh Prince, just yeet them. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so I almost had a heart attack and I was like, what the fuck? And then when I figured out it was just the ad pages, I was like, oh, we really.
What's even in that issue? Like 2005. What?
It is
Naruto?
One Piece.
One Piece can be correct for any time.
You're right, but yes, One Piece. I don't remember. I feel like there was a new manga that just started that was in there, or one that they were doing like a trial run.
I feel like it'd be like a Shonen Jump magazine that doesn't have a chapter of One Piece in it is like
40 years old.
well, no, because I was gonna say anytime he takes a break, which is like a handful of times in his entire career,
Yeah.
that shit's like, I wonder if that's like rare. Like,
I'm
you
sure.
have one of those and you're like,
Holy shit, they don't have One Piece in this one.
yeah, you're just like, hey guys, I'm selling the Shonen Jump magazine. Yeah, who gives a fuck? It doesn't have One Piece in it. Oh, like it's. I think recently he took like 2 weeks off, and that was like unheard of.
I was watching this thing that if somebody like breaking down like the One Piece anime, and this guy, he was like, yeah, so One Piece has like 1,030 episodes.
Yep.
Okay, so let's do the calculations to see how long that would take you to watch it, right? So he does like all this math to see like how much time. And he's like, yeah, it's just 17 and a half days if you watch nonstop. All right, let's get going. He's like, 17 days, that's not that long. Let's go.
Honestly, I did know somebody that at the time binged it in like a summer. They were just like, fuck it. And they did it over like, I think 2 months.
Oh my God, that's so
disgusting.
much.
I got up to episode 500 and something like over a winter.
Maybe
That was like the start of COVID too. So.
I feel like
At the bored.
at
Like,
the-
I need different content.
No, it was all great. I fucking love One Piece. One Piece is great.
at the pace that I read manga, I feel like if I started One Piece now,
You would be done when you're dead.
I was gonna say I could finish it right on my deathbed.
No, you wouldn't finish it. You'd be done because you're dead.
No, it would still be running. I would die before it ended.
Yeah, Oda lives forever.
Have you seen the thing of somebody? They have like a piece of paper and they're like, and the one piece was really the friends we made along, right? And they're
Yeah.
like, if this was the ending to One Piece, and the guy like takes the paper and he puts it down, and he's like, all right. He like picks up like a sword. And he's like, I am going to kill some people now.
Well, Oda has gone on record saying it is not that.
Could you fucking imagine though?
He's gone on record being like, no, it's a real thing. It's not. It's
real
not
ending.
friends you made along
It's
the
not
way.
a concept.
But I've seen other ones where it's like, and Luffy became king of the pirates. The end. Closes book, and then it's like, or like at the last page, and it's like, to be continued in 2 piece. And it's just like, no, Jesus Christ.
That would honestly,
It's following Luffy's kid's dad's
oh
kid.
my good lord. Is there any like, has Oda come out with any kind of statement of like, okay, this is when it's gonna end?
He's said that a lot over the years,
Right.
But we know for a fact we're in the the end arc.
Okay, so
So people think like next 5 years.
We know we're in the
It
last
was
arc.
I was like, okay, a year.
I was like, okay, maybe like a year. Like
Yeah.
he'll put out
5
like
more years.
a couple more
like
volumes.
3 to 5 years, yeah.
And then you just hit me with the so probably in the next 5 years.
So basically, what
So
everyone
how
thinks
long
is
is typically like does he have an arc go for? If you're saying
well, the
this
last 3
one,
arcs have been the longest arcs ever.
okay.
So it varies.
So does it just get because the way Colin has described it to me is that like One Piece gets better over time, but it also gets longer and longer.
So
and
yeah,
longer.
so the problem that One Piece does have in terms of manga though is that because there is so much to it because it's such a dense
there's like
universe.
a million fucking characters.
Yeah, but that the manga itself has kind of suffered because like it still looks good, like the art style and everything, but there's a lot of words per panel.
Oh, I'm sure.
And
There's so much to get
like,
through.
Because I've seen a few people break down because I've read it, but not a lot. I've mostly watched it. But I've seen a lot of people break down the manga that have only really read the manga, and they're like, he used to be really good at his panel layouts and everything that was happening and the actions in the panels, but because it's gotten so dense and he needs to convey so much, because he is getting more done per chapter than he used to, but to do that he's fitting a lot more
right.
in. So
it's kind of like it sounds like the opposite problem of like later Bleach manga, where the panels were so bare bones that there was so much dead space in them that people were like, because in early Bleach, like the panels were super expressive, like had lots of like lines, movement, a lot of emotion in them. Like you could really feel everything happening. And then like in later Bleach manga, it was just like people floating in space. Like there was no weight to anything. Nothing felt like it was in like relation to something else.
Well, yeah, like I mean, people still love the art and everything. Like it's still there, but it's just that people, at least from what I have
it's just
seen,
much more wordy now.
Yeah, that there is just a lot of words, and it's not.
Why doesn't he change? I mean, I guess you technically can't go ahead. Like, I don't think he could now just change his format now and be like, okay, we'll just have like
I mean,
it's
developed over time of just
a block
needing more
of like
information.
5 pages where it's just text.
Become a light novel
And,
for
yeah,
every now and
become
then.
like a light novel, but just for this end game arc that will go on for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Casual.
And then we'll have pages of all panel work and characters and action in them with like a couple of sparse words.
But yeah, so like what people think is a lot of people have like kind of brought up this point that like that One Piece is basically telling its story in reverse now.
Okay.
That the everything before the time skip, which is like the halfway point about
Jesus Christ
ish, was one island's one story, another island's another story, stuff like that. Each arc within the pre-time skip. The post-time skip is basically the inverse of each arc, is what everyone is saying is kind of what's going on. That like it's like visiting the same type of issue, but now at a different playing field, and that way, like, and if that does hold true, the next arc would be the first arc. So it's like
coming full circle.
Basically. And so people think that that's kind of what he's doing, because then it's going to be like basically a full circle kind of story that like it would be, where it ends would be kind of like where it begins.
Okay, I could see how that could be like a very satisfying conclusion.
Yeah, but also the dude's fucking insane because the amount of shit he remembers.
I was going to say, this man has been pumping out this manga for 30 fucking years, and apparently there's like very little continuity errors.
So literally there's like a character or a thing or an idea that was like mentioned in like the first 100 chapters and only just came up again to be paid off in like at chapter 1000 something. Like he doesn't forget. I have to imagine, that
he has
meme.
very good notes.
His house is like
the meme with the guy with the board.
He's the board with like all the like strings attached.
Just
like I'm convinced that's his entire house is that board, because there's so many characters, there's so many locations, there's so much stuff
there's
going
just
on.
String
That's
all
crazy.
around his house
There's
connected
no,
to different things.
there's no
That
way.
makes sense.
Like
he has a separate house just for when he writes to like find a character.
he has an entire like office for just that.
Like he has like all of the string color coded for certain things, and he's like, oh shit, shit. What's going on with Zoro? Where's the green string? And he's walking around his house looking for all the connections.
He's like following it like room to room.
Like he goes from upstairs to the basement, back to like outside to a tree somewhere, and he's like, here's the character I need.
Oh my god. Because Ryan was saying for Dragon Ball, the creator forgets characters all the time.
All the time.
So it's like that's so much shorter, and
there's way less characters in Dragon Ball.
He absolutely has been famous for forgetting everything. Everything he does is also out of like laziness. Like he only made Super Saiyans because he didn't want to have to
color in their hair.
He didn't want to have to color in the hair of the characters.
So you could
just
like, leave it outlined.
Yeah.
That's
so
why
he made
they're
their hair
blonde.
blonde, so he didn't have to draw it in every time. He forgot about Launch, and then when he was reminded about her existence, he was like, but her whole gimmick was like turning her hair blonde, so I guess I can't really do that. I can't bring her back. And it was like, you totally could. They're totally different. And he was like, yeah. He forgot about like Goten and Trunks, I think. He forgot about Super Saiyan 2. He kept calling Super Saiyan 3 Super Saiyan 2, and then people were like,
no.
During an interview, and the interview had to be like, no, that's Super Saiyan 3. And he's like, what? He's like, no, he's like, no, remember you made 2, like, and he showed him a picture. He's like, oh,
I did do that, didn't I?
Forgot that existed. Like he just
God.
like he forgets shit all the time.
I have a question about One Piece. Sorry to bring it back. So when does he have like a team of people?
I mean, I assume every writer has a team of people.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, but is it like a larger than average team of people, or is this man just going like X Games mode every week? You know what I'm saying?
It's just him in the house with the string.
With
the photos.
Yeah, that's his only company in life. And he has printouts of like each character's face, so he can be like, okay, this is, but he has
little bullet notes.
Yeah, and little label with like key traits.
Yep.
Here's like some fine details.
5 people.
That doesn't seem like enough.
He has 5 assistants.
It doesn't seem like enough.
Go find me the blue string.
He needs the assistants purely to remember plot points and characters. Everything, like all the drawing and writing, he's like, no, I don't need you guys to do any of that. I'll do all of this myself, but I need you to be my computer. Like
not them using a computer.
No, they have to be the computer.
They are the computer.
And could you imagine? It's like, okay, here's the 5 assistants. They're acting as his computer. One assistant is like, oh, I just got married and I'm like moving countries, right? And he's like, all right, I need you to find me another assistant, and you need to catch them up to speed to right.
So the
now.
only thing the assistants do, which I think is usually a pretty big rule of thumb with most manga in general, but is they do background and static.
Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
Anything that moves in any capacity and stuff like that is all him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
not enough people.
That 5 does not feel like enough.
He's only taken off like
3
5 times
right?
in his career.
Yeah.
How old is he?
And One Piece started in what, 95? Maybe even a little earlier than that.
48.
Jeez,
He pumped this out early. He's only 48.
And when did One Piece start? Because I feel like it was a while.
99.
99. Okay.
Oh wait, that's the episode. Hold on.
Oh no, yeah, because the manga, not the show.
Yeah. I got that. I just didn't realize.
97.
One
One Piece
started
has been
the year I was born.
running as long
think
as
we were all
we
born
have been
97.
actively alive.
I can never remember who's 1 year and what older and younger in this
I think
group.
we're all 97 except for Colin, right?
And
Kieran,
Fior.
Kieran is 96.
Yeah, Colin and Kieran are 96 and Fior is
Fior's in
98.
different grade, so
True.
that's obvious. Colin's weird because it is our grade.
I guess that's fair.
So
Yeah, but Kieran would have been in my grade. Later birthdays, right? Colin's also late.
No,
he's
he's
early.
his August of 96.
He's
So-
the top and I'm
August
and
is
I'm
later,
the
so that's in
bottom,
the,
so
that's
we're
in the
like 2
cutoff.
years apart.
He
Yeah.
was right at the cutoff where he could have been the youngest in his
Or the
class
oldest.
or the
Yeah,
oldest.
Yeah.
if you're in a later birthday, that's your choice is to be older or younger.
Yeah, so I'm in.
You're the
The-
younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I would have rather been younger because then I would have graduated sooner if I had that option.
I would have rather the opposite.
You would have
Wait,
rather
you-
been older.
Yeah.
You would rather be younger to graduate sooner?
Like if I was in that
You
middle
would still be
cutoff,
going to school at the same amount of time.
no, if I was the youngest in the grade, that would mean I'm the grade ahead of what I would have been as the oldest.
So, like, I
Cat would have
graduated
been
at
Oh, you would have
17.
graduated at a younger age.
Yes.
I would have graduated a year earlier.
I
just
graduated
younger.
at 17, but if I chose to be in the other grade, then I would have been 18.
I understand.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, I'm like, you wouldn't
It's
have
not
skipped a
it's
Like,
grade.
yeah,
not
but, like,
more
ima-
school, but you're older.
Right, I
Yeah.
understand.
Like,
Yeah.
if imagine if Fior was at a cutoff, she could have graduated with you guys or graduated the year back.
Yeah.
Like, I would have preferred to be graduating with
Yeah,
you
but
guys.
then you have
in
to
that
go to
sense.
college at 17. Then
Yeah, but you're done with school quicker.
yeah, but then nobody wants to fuck you because you're underage.
Nobody wanted to fuck me anyway.
So you didn't have that problem.
Yeah.
You were like, I didn't need to worry about
Might
it.
as well finish early.
But I didn't run into that issue anyway. I was a middle of the year baby, so
I guess that's fair.
my birthday was always after school was over.
But it sucked because everybody could drink like way before me. Like I just,
Yeah.
there were so many things.
also
Could
didn't
drive
affect my
way
life.
before me. Could do anything. Like everybody was 18
Technically-
before
So
me.
when Colin turned, are you 26 now or
No.
25?
I'm 25. I'm turning 26 in November.
So Colin is a full year older than you. I
He's
never
like
realized.
a year and a half older
Yeah,
than me.
I never realized that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. So then being friends, he's like, I just learned to drive. I'm like, I'm 14 years old. I cannot do anything.
I'm 14 years
Like literally, it's just like I got my driver's license.
You're like, send help.
Yeah, it's an odd.
Also,
Odd thing.
One Piece is not the longest running manga, by the way. I don't know If you
Really?
guys knew that. Yeah, oh yeah, no.
Wait, is
Detective Conan is, which has been going
is
since
that?
'94.
Never even heard.
I
of that.
thought that like comedy manga series about the family is like the longest one.
Oh, maybe Detective Conan is the longest shonen.
Oh, okay. Because I think it's like a kids manga that's been going on for like a lifetime at this point. Or maybe it's no longer
What
going,
I asked.
but it was being printed for a very long time and new stuff was coming out for a super long time. I don't know what it's called though, but I can picture the art style in my head. It's like very kind of like liney and like soft and rounded.
No way.
Not in like clean, crisp,
Okay.
dark edges, like very like lightly drawn kind of style. And the characters are very like rounded and all have like very rounded expressions and faces.
Don't know what you're talking about?
It
It's gonna
started
be like the most obvious thing.
I think it started in like the 70s, and I'm pretty sure it's either still going or it went on for like fucking 40 years.
Mm-hmm. You find anything?
Any luck?
I'm trying to. But anyway, Conan. While I'm looking this up, the funny thing about Conan is that like it's a series that takes place like, if I remember it correctly, like over the course of a year, and it's been going on since 1994.
So
It's just about a guy who was a really good detective who gets turned into a child, and his whole goal is to not be a child anymore. And it's like
So
all
it's-
of that is taking
so-
place in like a year.
So next year he'll have spent 30 years in this child's body.
But a year in the story,
Oh, God.
like less than a year in the story,
How do you?
How
so-
is there that much stuff? Like,
because
that's
it's
not-
just a story just to keep telling detective
A whole
stories. It's not.
chapter is one day of
No,
his
that's not
life?
even a day.
It's mostly just the fact that it's just a story to tell for kids to read detective stories. It's not actually supposed to have a logic. He's like, there's not really there's an
So
end
why
goal,
was
but there's
it-
not an end
Why
goal.
was it important that it's 1 year?
Because apparently he solves it within that time frame. It just never comes up.
So
Okay.
so this man he's in purgatory. He can never solve it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I was told.
Gotcha.
And I
What's the anime called? Case Closed?
yeah.
That's what I thought. But that only went for a short while, right?
I thought that's still going.
Oh, really?
I thought so.
You could be right. I have no idea. I thought for some reason it was just like a one and done type deal. Or as Eamon likes to call it, case closed, chase hose.
What the case closed? Fucking the like parody.
Yeah.
hilarious.
So funny.
One of the funniest things of all time.
It's a really good abridged series.
Nope. Detective Conan Case Closed started in 96 and it's still going.
Jesus Christ. How many episodes do they have?
Probably a lot.
2,000.
Let me find out.
That's... And is this... Because I feel like this is not exactly, like, popular here. So, is it just, like, popular enough in Japan to this day for them to just keep pumping it out? Like, it must be.
Yeah, I mean, probably. Fuck. This didn't tell me what I wanted to know.
Sad.
Annoying.
Can't you just look up how many
Yeah, that's what I
episodes
was
does
gonna do.
X, Y,
I
and Z
already
have?
had this open, so I was hoping that it would just answer that question for me.
Oh, well, it didn't, so whack.
Over 1,750.
What? 1,750?
Over that, but yeah. I don't know when this was last updated, so.
That's a lot.
I mean, One Piece is at 1,030 something episodes.
That is also a lot. That too much, if you ask me.
I'm on episode like 900 something right now.
I can't commit to finishing Naruto.
You shouldn't. It's bad. I'm on episode 928.
Damn.
Jesus Christ. I think Colin is up to date with it.
He's up to date with the manga. I don't think he watches the anime.
Oh, I thought he did.
I don't think so.
I could be wrong, but
He might. Although I'm on hiatus again from watching One Piece because the dub's not.
not up to date?
Yeah, I caught up to where it. But they
Why
do
don't you
it
just
like
watch it weekly?
because I would have to still watch 100 something episodes to catch up, and I don't want to do that subbed.
They're
so
not
why is the
dubbing it
dub
at all?
that far
No,
back?
no. So the dub stopped for years. They
Oh.
stopped like at the time skip basically.
Why?
And then last year, 2 years ago, they were like, "Hey, we're coming back. We're gonna do it again." And then they've been doing it in like 20 episode chunks.
Wait, so
okay.
why did they have such a large break?
I think they just stopped.
That's weird.
I don't actually know the
Maybe
reason.
financially it wasn't worth it for them because it's so much. Like to pay
maybe.
the voice actors.
And it's it's been the same one since day one? Because that's a long time to have them.
I want to look up the voice cast.
Yeah, that's a long time
It's
for...
what, for One Piece?
Yeah.
Same people.
Wow.
Hasn't changed. It's all the main people that you would think of.
Well, I want to know who's who.
If you saw character pictures, I bet you could probably guess who some of them are. You could definitely guess who Sonny Stray voice
I
is.
was not expecting.
Colin Klingerbeard is Luffy?
Yeah, isn't that Momo and My Hero?
Yes.
Was
She has a
not.
very different voice, though, obviously.
Yes, I figured. This is just My Hero. Like this is literally okay. So
Yeah.
it's Momo, All Might. That's Ochako. No idea who the fuck that is.
Sonny Stray?
That's
That he voices. If you probably do know him, but he does. He voices Mike. Present Mike.
oh well then yes.
I was
do
going to
know
say,
him.
you know that voice.
I
for
sure do that.
My problem is, like, I'll recognize voice actors, like, from show to show, but I'm, like, so shit at remembering names. And then whenever, like, I see their pictures, I'm like, you look so vaguely familiar, but I have no idea who you are.
It's become a point that I just look up so much that I've started to get
To, like,
it.
memorize it?
Yeah, but so, President Mike wasn't one of them. But yeah, like, so Eric Vale, he looks really familiar and I know he's someone, but I'm just like, who are you? I kind of think that he's in Fruits Baskets.
Okay,
He's
so apparently
Yuki, I think.
they were like waiting for arcs to be finished, but that doesn't seem right because
I was
He is
gonna
Yuki.
Good
See?
job. I was going to say, that feels like too long.
they definitely started
But you-
again after like for Dressrosa, and there were already like 4 arcs already out. So I don't know. I can't really find a reason, but they stopped for a while,
Gotcha.
and then they were like, "Hey, we're coming back."
So, I have more One Piece questions because I obviously do not engage with One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
Although
I do not engage with One
I
Piece.
have had some small inklings.
Is this like going to be like where does it get good? Because that varies for everybody.
No. I have
Okay.
had some small inklings that maybe I will try out One Piece. Because the last time I read or watched One Piece, I was in like elementary school.
I would like to say real quick that anybody that says it gets good after 500 episodes, you're just wrong. Like
It's not even good after
no,
500?
no. I mean, well, I wouldn't be watching if it wasn't.
No, you have your weird obsession with having to finish.
Okay, that's kind of
It's
true.
true.
But
So-
no, it gets good after. It gets like. I mean, I always kind of had fun with it, but I think like you get to the part where you're like, oh shit, this is like really good. Is the Arlong Park arc, which is like the third or fourth arc, like mini arc, like it's
Right.
in the first 100, not 100. Sorry, let me look it up because I don't want.
Who's the guy? This is very early on, but the guy, and he's got the cigar and the big giant coat.
That's Smoker. Oh no, that's Crocodile.
Crocodile.
Okay, episode 30 is when Arlong Park starts.
I always
so I
thought-
think after like once Arlong Park happens,
I always
I
thought
was
he
invested.
looked so cool.
Crocodile's rad. That arc is is probably my favorite arc of One Piece.
When is that happen?
So far, every single person has been someone.
It's
in My
just their
Hero.
main cast of people.
I know, but that's
like
crazy.
this guy fucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I remember liking
Episode 92
One Piece
is when
when it
starts.
was on Toonami, but I wasn't like keeping up with it. And I remember like some of my Shonen Jump magazines had One Piece in it, but again, I didn't have it consistent of like each month. So that was also jumping around a lot.
Right.
And I always thought it was entertaining, but then One Piece just got way too big, way too fast.
So
And it just seems quite daunting.
I would have recommended starting it during COVID when you had nothing else to do. But I
was
don't.
watching Zatch Bell during COVID. How dare you?
You didn't even get that far. Don't lie to me.
I didn't. I think I made it. Well, Colin made it way further than me.
So One Piece. I mean, people say to read it. It reads faster, and then you could be weird like Kirsten and just read random arcs.
Yeah.
Why?
She just read random arcs and then just was like, and she still loved it, but she weirdly just read random arcs regardless of where they took place.
Seems weird.
You can ask her about it. Her and Colin have talked about it at length. I don't really know exactly what went on there, but it's how she read it. I think she would just get in the mood for One Piece, but didn't want to figure out where, so she would just read arcs.
Gotcha.
But I think Colin would recommend reading it. I think it's an easy watch, especially with the dub. You can have that shit on the background. Like, it's how I got through quite a bit of it too.
Isn't there like a lot of filler?
Not really.
Oh yeah.
No, it's pretty. So to solve the problem of filler, they make every episode be like one chapter,
Okay.
which is kind of annoying at times.
So it just drags out?
Kind of, yeah. It gets more apparent at certain times than others.
Because
Like
I was going to say, how are you turning
in the beginning
a
of the
20-page chapter into 20 minutes of television?
pans out. They just have frames of like Luffy being ready to punch somebody, frames of the guy being ready to punch him, but that's more common sooner, like later. Like in the beginning, obviously they didn't really worry about catching up, so it flows very well.
Right.
It becomes more of an issue later, like Dressrosa and stuff like that, like way down the line. But
Is it like Dragon Ball where like one fight is 4 episodes?
yes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
It's becoming. I'm realizing it a lot more like now, but I know that I know because I'm in the Wano arc currently, but I know that like it kicks up again, but like it has the problem where fights are like way longer than they actually ever were because they're just panning it out. Because they refuse to put it on hiatus and wait.
Why? They're making
Because
too
One
much
Piece
money?
has just been going out every week always, so like why?
I guess that's
Yeah.
fair.
But it really doesn't have that much filler. But it also has how they make 20 pages fit an entire episode is that they have like 7 minutes of this is recap and then so basically every time I start an episode I just jump 7 minutes into the show and it usually is like here's the title of the episode into the episode and then but it doesn't have credits so it just ends.
That's weird.
because they front load it so much.
I guess that's fair.
And then but yeah, it's like 7 minutes you can skip. So like every episode is really only
15 minutes.
Yeah. But again, that wasn't really an issue in the beginning. Really for the first half, I would say. But I think it gets good at about where I said the Arlen Park, so like episode 30. It's already enjoyable, but like I think episode 30, like the Arlen Park arc, really cements like how good the story can be.
Right.
And then he just kind of keeps meeting that expectation with each arc.
Gotcha.
Or surpassing it. Because I think it just keeps getting better.
Right.
Even though I think Alabasta, which happens at like episode 90, starts, is my favorite arc, but every story is still like fantastic.
Yeah, that's the one I'm most familiar with.
Yeah, it's my favorite. But I also really like the original art style. Apparently people hate it, but I didn't like the art style that followed it, where it's like everybody is just like hourglass figured, like giant fucking cannon tits.
Oh, where they're like literally toothpicks with big giant boulders?
Yeah. I don't actually like that art style at all, really. And it only just recently changed with the Wano arc, so it's like, thank God. But yeah, I don't know. I think One Piece is super fun, and yeah, it's a lot, but it's also really like if you click with it, it doesn't feel like it's a lot really at all. Like you can kind of breeze through it once you like. If it clicks, you breeze through it very easily, at least to me, because I was like, I'm never gonna fucking start One Piece. That's just too much.
Yeah, I don't think for me.
It might be. You can give it the 30 episodes. Get to
I'm not
Arlong.
gonna. So I'll never know.
I feel
Could
like
be my favorite show, and
I feel like
never
a
know.
30 episode trial seems like a lot.
Well,
It is
no.
a lot.
I thought it was fun.
It's no trial.
I thought it was
That's
fun.
a commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was fun to begin with. But Arlong Park is like the moment you're like, I understand why the story is what it is.
Gotcha.
And why people really love it.
Gotcha.
I don't know why people argue that it's episode 500 because I think that's stupid. If you're going to tell me that you don't think that Arlong Park, Alabasta, Skypiea, and Water 7 are all incredible, you're just wrong.
But also, I think
Skypiea is too long, though.
Realistically, if it was until episode 500 that it got good, like I don't think they would ever be able to get new fans.
People claim that all the time. It's actually a very popular claim.
Really?
I don't understand why. I can't. First of all,
Does it get even better at 500? And maybe that's what they're talking about?
It gets really good, but like, I think it's the same amount of quality.
Is it really story heavy or something? That
They
like,
all
people, like, I don't know. I'm just
I
trying to think
literally
of
I think it's maybe just
500.
because then it becomes more like because everyone's then powered up, and so then it's even more grandiose maybe. But I don't know. And people that think that, I think it's so weird because like if somebody told me it doesn't get good till 500 episodes, I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
I would never watch
Because
something like that.
That's such a huge commitment to make, to watch 500 episodes of essentially like
That literally means half of it sucks.
here's what you need to watch this solely to like get
And you can't even
understand
skip.
why this
Like,
is
you
good.
Can,
Yeah.
like, you
But
literally
again,
can't even.
according to Kirsten, you can skip, and I can understand that because to a degree, like if somebody was just like, fuck it, I'll just start with Arlong Park, I could understand that, I guess.
You started with 500.
You could probably do it.
You won't be confused.
Nah, I mean, if you were starting at 500, I feel like you'd also just kind of look some stuff up if something comes up. Like if you're like, I'm gonna just start at 500, and then something happens where you don't understand. I feel like at that point, if you're committing to starting it that far into an episode, you might just look up, well, what's this mean?
So like you were saying earlier, how in the manga he'll have something come up in like the first 100 chapters, and then like in chapter 1020 he brings it back up again since that first 100. Do people have also this infinite pool of One Piece continuity inside them to be like, oh, I remember that from
So
You have to make
30
your own
years
house
ago?
now with the string.
All committed fans have their own One Piece offices.
You know the housing crisis? That's actually because of One Piece fans. They just keep they own all the houses.
Yeah.
You
But
think that's Mike's room, but it's actually fake walls, and behind his real walls is just the one
Piece yes.
plot.
yeah, when all the walls fall down, all the string reconnects.
Yeah.
But so, I think it's a combination of like I can't imagine for the most part that like people that started reading this in 1997 remember the shit that happened in the first fucking 10 chapters,
Yeah.
Right.
kind of stuff, you know. And I think that's so wild too, because like I was watching a reviewer, totally not Mark, because he did a One Piece review, and he did I think he finished it within a year ish. And every now and then he'll bring up like in his reviews, being like, I can't imagine how crazy it was to read this shit week to week,
Right.
and then get to this part, and not just like, because he's like, I just read it in one go, like I got here in 4 months, 5 months, whatever. Like, imagine reading what I just read in 5 months over the course of 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
But it's much easier
Sure
because
is.
you're just.
And now you only have to wait the 5 years for it to end instead
Yeah.
of the entirety of
but
half your life.
It's not even waiting because you're just.
Yeah, you're just following along at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
You caught up.
But I don't know. I think One Piece is worth it, and I think you realize that with the Arlong Park arc. I think it's still enjoyable, but I think you realize why it is worth it then.
But
because if
and
a
you're
story,
saying that's how many chapters in, or you're saying that's 30 episodes in?
yeah,
That's pretty early for it to be worth the payoff.
yeah.
I
Like,
think.
I think that
mean, with how
Considering
long it
it's
is,
1,000 episodes
yeah, like-
and
With
change.
how it just sounds in general, no, but
no, again,
for
like
One Piece, I
like,
guess.
I was watching One Piece and was like, I'm enjoying this. It was just episode 30 was what made me realize why it's as like
it's a phenomenon.
yeah, why it is as big as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, oh, like if it can just do this shit, I understand. You know, like because I was already having fun. That arc hits, and I'm like, I get
I
it.
have a question.
What?
Can I just watch the movie?
The movies have nothing to do with anything,
So I can just watch the
technically.
movie. Okay.
I mean, like
I keep seeing clips of it. I'm like, can
What?
I just
Which
watch the
one?
movie?
There's
the
a
one that
bunch.
just came out.
Red.
Is that
Yeah.
R? Oh, red.
Red? It has Liam Lee as the main girl
Yeah.
as Uta,
That's why the clips keep coming up. So like, can I just watch this?
which I think is funny because she doesn't sing any of the songs.
Oh, 'cause she came out with covers of them though.
Yeah, she did. She came out with covers, but I just thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
That like you have a voice actress that can sing and does it well.
Yeah.
and
It sounds good. The covers.
yeah, and then
And then they don't have her sing?
yeah.
No.
I will
It's probably
say
a contract with what's
yeah,
her
I mean,
name?
They don't do that anymore. So like
Ado.
yeah,
I think.
I think so. But I will say I think her covers are good. I think the Japanese covers or songs are better.
Yeah. Well, she has a crazy vocal range and like the growls
Yeah.
and stuff that. She
But
can
I
do
also
is
just
crazy.
think that it has to do with the way the songs are structured, that they flow a bit better in Japanese than they do in
Yeah.
English. Like I think because Lily does great covers. I love a lot of the music she puts out, and I do like her covers of the songs. I just think they flow more like dramatically in the movie with the Japanese than it does with the cover. But again, I think that's more of a limitation of English to Japanese
Than,
than
like,
it is.
her
than her
performance.
performance.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you can. If you're not even gonna watch it, it doesn't really matter what it spoils anyway. It doesn't
So
really
it does spoil things.
Not really, but kind of.
But would they
But
be?
why are you
would
going?
they-
If you
I
don't
was
care,
gonna
you're not gonna watch
would they
it.
even be
What if I
considered
do?
spoilers for her, where she has no context of
No.
anything else?
No, no, probably not. Except for the fact that you
One
would,
day, if
except-
I choose to watch that, I'll be like, oh,
I got spoiled.
except for the fact, I guess, that you would show you who's in the pirate crew, and it wouldn't be a surprise for when the certain people join. I guess past that. But I don't know. I feel like if you could like One Piece. I feel like that could be a story you actually liked, because it's not about like the fights. It's about characters. It's its whole
about
point.
finding
So
the one
much.
piece.
It's
Yeah.
if a
The
story
friends we
can
made
make
along
me
the
the
cry,
friends you made along the
the
way.
if a fucking book can make me cry about a boat,
what?
then it's worth reading or
About
watching.
boat.
A boat. A boat gets at some point a boat gets destroyed and it makes everybody cry.
Wait,
Okay.
in One Piece.
Yes. A boat makes people cry in One Piece.
Is it? Can I ask a question related to the boat?
Sure.
And I don't know if this is a spoiler if you answer the question.
Depending on the question, I might just not answer it.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with if it's a spoiler or not. I just might not answer it.
Is it their boat, like the first boat that
you
they're
don't
on?
get an answer.
Okay.
I'd assume so, right? I mean, why else would they cry?
Like,
if
it's just a boat.
it's just a boat.
A boat. All I'm saying is that a boat
Crashes.
gets destroyed, and it makes everybody cry.
It's
If
gotta
a
be their
story
first boat.
if a story can make people cry about a fucking boat, I feel like that says all you need.
If I don't cry about the boat,
You will.
I'm gonna beat you up.
You will.
Yeah, but when does the boat crash?
900.
Do you want the actual answer somewhere? It's like within like it's pre-time skip, but it's
give
like
a range.
400
Okay,
somewhere.
Give a range.
Pre-time skip.
Give
So
a
400 something.
Okay.
400 something. So if you don't cry, you have to get to the boat crashing to figure it out. So you have at least 400
The only reason
episodes
I
to get
wouldn't
through.
tell you to start
With
at
the boat crashing.
the only reason I wouldn't tell you to start at Arlong Park, which is the part I think is like, oh, this is why it's worth it, is just because I think the moment that it hit for me for that is much more impactful if you actually see the moments of like the start of the crew getting together, because it's about one of the like beginning
About the
crew.
friends you made along the way.
Yes.
But yeah, it's about like one of the like starting crew members, and it's just like it's more impactful if you actually see like what was going on with that character through those 30 episodes, because then it's like it's what causes them to kind of join, and it would be less meaningful if you're just like, I don't know who this is.
Gotcha.
But yeah, but I would say for most people, if Arlong Park doesn't grab you, then you're probably not gonna like it. But there's also just so many other moments that like Alabasta is fucking incredible.
But you can't just keep watching forever and be like, maybe now I'll
you say
like
that,
it.
but Kieran kept watching to Skypiea, and that's like 200, 300 something. And I'm like,
Does he like it now?
no, he's never liked it.
Oh.
I don't know how he's hate watched it that long.
That's some serious
She
commitment.
can't even hate watch Velma.
Yeah, it's only 10 episodes.
Yeah.
But I feel like you could at least commit to Arlong Park.
No, you got to commit to the boat crash. You got at least 400 episodes to go.
And if I don't cry about the boat live on camera, I'm gonna beat the shit out of Mike.
You
That'll be
reserve
our-
the right to
Yeah,
beat the shit out
that'll
of
be
Mike.
our special episode.
Yeah. We record, it's like a marathon, and we record you up to that point.
God. Every episode of the podcast
Kieran just texted me. He had nothing else to watch.
every episode of the podcast ends with me watching it.
Yeah. It's like a 30-second clip of like you watching like a season.
Yeah.
It's in the early 300s.
Oh, even better. Early 300s. Now you have
Easy.
even less work to do.
Easy. Wait, but so Kieran didn't get to the boat crash. Kieran,
No.
keep watching to the boat.
He's not gonna cry. Kieran has never felt an emotion in his life.
Well, maybe this is what'll change him.
This is what will
This will
awaken
fix him. It'll fix him. One Piece. It's the I can fix him meme.
Oh my goodness. Is he texting you
No,
again?
and no, I won't. No, it won't. Like I said, you've never felt an emotion in your life.
I had another question about One Piece and I forgot what it was now.
No.
I'm very annoyed with myself. I think I might dip my toes into
I'm
one.
broken, and then he just starts singing "Crawling in My Skin" by Linkin
Oh
Park.
my God.
Yeah, so maybe I'll dip my toes into One Piece, and maybe in like a year I'll have read.
No, you're never
You
gonna
can-
fucking read it.
you
Watch
can-
it.
You can,
You're never going to read it.
for Anime
Watch
Club,
it.
you could recommend the first 30 episodes.
For Anime Club, I'm recommending all of One Piece.
All of what?
You
In a month, you have.
You guys have a month to watch
17
it.
days.
17 days. Let's
Exactly.
go.
A month is more than enough time.
More than enough.
We actually
time.
have 5 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm being generous
Yeah.
here.
All of us just
You
take
can watch
off work.
all of One Piece twice.
Exactly. See,
Yeah.
that's generous in my
All
opinion.
of us take off work and we just
Yeah,
watch
we take
One
a
Piece.
nice
I
little-
use all of my PTO
Yeah.
just to watch One
Yeah,
Piece.
we all take a nice 3-week vacation together, and at the end of it, we'll either come out stronger or we'll want to kill each other.
I'm gonna go with the latter.
It's an experiment.
So wait, are you saying that you would allow? Well, hold on. I need to find out when Arlong Park ends.
But 30? No, because you're saying watch that.
Just to get us to start.
It ends at episode 45.
So it's only 15 episodes.
Yeah, but we can't start at
No,
that.
yeah, she said you can
so we'd have
recommend.
to watch
yeah.
45
So
episodes.
you recommend the first 30 episodes, and then hopefully we'll just watch the arc on our own.
I don't think that makes
Well,
sense. Wouldn't it be we watch the
I'm
45
probably
episodes to
not
get to
just-
the end of the
You
arc?
would watch the 30, but not the extra 15.
Yes.
I feel like
Yes,
that
I
makes
would.
less sense than watching 45. Actually, no. Watching the 30
I'm not letting you
before
recommend 45 episodes.
But you will let her recommend 30.
But you're gonna let
I
me
was
recommend
being
all
generous.
I just like the idea that like Kat gets right to the start of the arc. It's like, all right, I'm done.
No, I'm gonna recommend all of One Piece.
recommend 31 episodes.
Oh
and
my
then-
God.
And then hopefully
I feel like that
watch
would
ours.
that would make me upset. I would just be
Yeah.
frowning as I got to that 31st episode.
Well,
I don't know. I would say watch it.
It's just
You're
too
not
much
gonna
of a-
fucking read it.
I will.
No, you won't. You've been reading
I
fucking
have-
Haikyuu
have
for
5
fucking
years
5
before
years.
it ends. I can catch up in 5 years.
You've been reading
believe
Haikyuu for
you.
5 years.
I've been reading Haikyuu for less than a year. Don't be dramatic.
I've already finished it in like 2 months,
Well, I'm getting close to the end of the training arc.
which is like the first season.
No, it's season 2.
It's the start of
It's
fucking
season
season 2.
two.
It's the start of. It's the first arc of season 2.
Yeah, so I'm getting there.
gone.
I hate you. One Piece is great. Watch
believe
One
you.
Piece.
Okay,
Just watch it.
I'm gonna
You're
read
never
it.
gonna fucking read it.
I'm gonna read it.
Jesus Christ.
My roommate read all of it over
And Colin did too during COVID.
I think winter break.
Oh.
Yeah, she literally did like nothing except read One Piece. She would send me Snapchats at 6 a.m. being like, all right, I'm going to bed now. And I'm like, it's 6 a.m. You're
It's
supposed
really
to be
good.
waking up now. She's like, yeah, but I was reading One Piece. And then like a week would go by. She would send me another Snapchat. It would be like 5 a.m. She'll be like, oh, I'm so close to being done with One Piece. I'm like, what have you been doing this whole break? And she's like, I've just been sitting here reading One Piece nonstop.
It's really good.
God,
Like
just
like I said,
rotting away watching and reading
like
One
the
Piece.
first like 500 like pre-time skip like went by really well, like easy for me. Like it was like this, like it was nothing. The only time I felt like it was kind of a chore was during Skypiea, just because it's an arc that's like famously just kind of feels like it drags.
The reason why I don't even
But he
wanna
fights
bother,
Eminem.
What?
The villain's design is based off Eminem.
Oh my
That's really
God.
funny.
Is it took me a whole summer to watch Hunter x Hunter, and I really enjoyed that show. And I only went faster because you were trying to beat
Wait,
me.
how-
So I had to watch it more.
When you watch a show that you enjoy, do you like watch as many episodes as you can in a sitting, or you're like, I'll watch a few and then come back and watch a few and come back?
It depends on just what I'm doing.
Oh.
Like in general, like there's shows like Call of the Night I just watched. Like I was like, oh, I enjoyed the show, and I just did it all in one
Yeah,
day.
but that's like 12 episodes.
No, I know, but like so
Finished so
it
many
just
manga or
depends.
anime that's
Like
12 episodes in a day.
at my old job, it was easier because, you know, if I didn't have a clean one day, then I would just have the whole day to like just do stuff, so I could stay up all night, or where I can't really do
Right.
that now. So like just depends. If it's like the weekend, I'll usually just stay
But
up
also,
really
I
late
feel like
watching.
if you double task with having anime on in the background, you could absolutely just have One Piece running in the
Yeah,
background.
but sometimes I can't pay attention, and then what if I miss something really important? I can't set up the strings in my house.
I'm just saying, I think you could absolutely just have One Piece on in the background for you, and you'd
Yeah,
be going
but,
through
like-
it real quick, real easy.
But sometimes, because that's the thing of like I can't watch stuff because I'll be too focused on whatever I'm doing that I can't.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
I work with a lot of numbers,
I know.
so like focusing. So
but like, if you have things on in the background, anyway. Just make it One Piece.
Yeah, but it's usually just like a YouTube video that like it won't matter if I don't know.
It's not something she has to like
Right.
actively pay attention to.
Yeah, whereas I feel like the plot of a show, especially if you're saying, oh, this one thing comes back.
I
later.
didn't even remember that stuff, and I started it 3 years ago.
Well, maybe because you played in the background.
Yeah.
No, because I'm never paying that
No.
much. I'm never paying that much attention to the
No.
story.
Okay.
Shut her down.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Anyway.
All right, that was our One Piece episode without watching One Piece.
Yeah.
basically.
Our uneducated, only Mike is educated about One Piece.
Yeah, it's basically last episode how we just talked about Haley Baldwin and Selena Gomez. He just talked about One Piece.
Yeah, this was my payback. Except you guys were interested in this.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hey, so thanks for watching and listening to this week's episode of the Vaguely Anime Podcast. Don't forget you have 2 weeks to watch Call of the Night.
You're just deciding that, or did you find that out?
No, I said last episode was 97. This is 98.
But you weren't sure.
Yeah, but then I exported
Well,
everything.
that's what I was asking. I just said, did you
But
find out?
but I was sure last episode because I was like, oh no, it is 97.
Yeah, but that was afterward. Whatever, it doesn't matter. End it. End my suffering.
2 weeks
please.
to watch Call
Call
of the Night.
Yep.
Don't forget to
Check me out.
comment, subscribe, review, all that fun stuff. Check out
Yeah.
Cat the Mood Star /Twitch. /Twitch. Mike is salty, and we'll see everybody next week.
Bye.
Oh my god.